Hi. So I'm doing a little bit of a different video today. My screen is not there. It's just my face. Hey, I'm Amy. You've been following tips and tricks on Squarespace and Canva, and I just really want to make design easy for you, and I want to make the online world more beautiful. So there's a lot of shit design out there, and a lot of people doing DIY design now, recession-proofing their businesses, not wanting to spend money maybe on designers and web builders. So I really want to help those DIYers still make the internet a beautiful place, make their brands beautiful, and not put out shit stuff, basically. But this video is not about that. This video is about little things that I do to get out of a blocked, procrastinating mindset. So often when I get a client, the thing that really trips people up is writing their copy and getting their homework back to me. So when you book me in for a one-on-one, I give you homework basically, and that's to write your copy. And I help you with it by giving you lots of trigger questions and laying it out for you. And this is what you should have on your homepage and your about page and all that kind of thing. And you can learn that on the course that I will be releasing soon. Watch this space. And they still get a little bit stuck sometimes because writing copy and just getting down and doing the thing without what's the word, accountability and time reframe, which they get when they work with me. But when you're not working with someone or not working in a group or whatever, you don't have that. If you have the whole month, or if you give yourself a whole 2 months, it'll take us as long as you give yourself, basically. So if you don't have a deadline, or you don't have someone that's being accountable for you, or to you, you are being accountable to them, then it just won't happen. So that's one thing, being accountable to someone. But there's a few little things that sometimes I don't feel like I'm part of an accountability group, but ultimately I'm my own boss and I have to get shit done. So I just wrote a list of things that get me a little bit blocked, sort of get me out of feeling really blocked and kind of sluggish and oh, I can't get this out. At the moment, I'm working on getting a template out to you guys, and sometimes I'm just really blocked. So, well, I mean, that happens with everything, that happens with everything. So, I just wrote a few things that really helped me. So, one of the things that I wrote down was random, but it's getting into a flow state with creativity, even if you're not a creative person or you don't identify as a creative person. Doing a repetitive thing with your hands really helps. So just some activities that you could do that are repetitive with your hands. And you could, whilst you're doing this, you could listen to a new podcast, you could listen to a new playlist, you could have a walk. Oh, you couldn't have a walk because you're making things with your hands, but something else that's maybe stimulating, or you're just sitting in silence doing this repetitive exercise. I like to put some music on or a podcast. So one thing I'd like to do is I doodle a lot. So if I'm listening to something or I'm learning something, I draw, and I get into phases of drawing different things. So for the last year and a half, I've been drawing these beads things. They're just they could look like a fish. I don't know. They're nothing really. And then I color in one bit, and then one bit's just plain. Sometimes if I've got colors, I'll color them in different colors, and I really enjoy the repetitiveness of it. And it's just actually, I might have been drawing them for the last 2 years. If you look at my workbooks and notebooks, the last 2 years, I've literally been doodling the same thing. And then the past 2 years before that, I was doodling the same thing as well. And I was doing all these sort of African-y patterns or something. It's just so strange. I really get into it. And the reason why I keep doing it is because it's repetitive. My mind knows what it's doing. It doesn't have to think about anything else but doing the action. And some people just need to just do something like that with their hands so that the brain connects more and receives information. So for instance, if you are just stuck on an idea, a walk outside, a lot of people say that really can spark an idea. So that's the same thing with doing a repetitive motion with your hands. So knitting is another one. I've just started embroidering. I've never learned how to embroider, but I got a hoop and I just did a circle, and I just started doing the same thing. So I didn't have to learn anything new, it was literally just the same motion over and over again. So I didn't have to concentrate and read the next instructions because I'm making some sort of complicated jumper. So that's another thing. One thing that really, really helps me when I'm just like stuck is just saying, stop, just stop and go for a walk. Or if I'm having one of those days where it's just not flowing and my work's just like, everything's just like a bit of a drag or really slow, I actually can just like say, right, that's it for today. Like I'll do the basic things that I need to do to keep things running and ticking over. Might be paying a bill or getting back to a client or whatever, or if I'm on client work, just finishing the client work. But the days where I'm totally accountable for myself and I'm doing things for my business, it's sometimes just taking that day off and doing something for my soul or my spirit. Like, okay, fine, I'm going to go do a yoga class, or I'm going to go meet a friend, or I'm going to call my mum, or whatever it is, and just like giving yourself that like out of jail free card or whatever. Is really refreshing. And then the next day, when I've really allowed myself guilt free, which is really important, to step away from those tasks and then come back the next day with full clarity. So I have to leave with full clarity. I zoom through those tasks. So yeah, it's just getting into a flow state, which is basically like being inspired in the moment. What other things? What other things? I think I've mentioned all the things that I wanted to say. I'm just looking over my notes over there. I wanted to do this video of like 10 things on but I was like, no, I'm just going to say a few things that help me. So I hope that inspires you in some way. If you like my videos, they're really geared towards DIYing your website and design, and making design and building websites really accessible, and making the online space beautiful. So please like and subscribe, and take a peruse around my videos. Thanks for watching.